Paranormal Dimensions is a regular feature on Mondays on the Paranormal UK radio network.
Hello, this is Adele Casals-Rocha, and you're listening to the Paranormal UK radio network, the UK's biggest paranormal network. And this is Paranormal Dimensions with David Young.
Hello, and welcome to the show. Thank you for that intro, Adele. Okay, today's guest is probably not very well known to many people out there. His name's Adam Greaves. He's had a number of paranormal experiences over the years, which he contacted me a while back and told me about, and I thought, well, we've got to do a show about this. So I'm going to waste no more time. I'm going to introduce Adam to you. Hello, welcome to the show, Adam. And your dad's there as well, Doug, I believe.
Yeah.
Hello, Doug and Adam.
How you doing?
Because I know Doug's going to back up a lot of what you're saying, isn't he, Adam? I know you told me a lot of stuff in the past. I'll just tell people out there that I think you, what was it, about 8 months ago you contacted me, Adam? Something like that.
About 8 months ago. Yeah, because one of your shows you had some demonologist on there. Yeah. And that's when I contacted you, because obviously some of the stuff what's happened to us in the last sort of couple of years sort of relates to that. And obviously when I started talking to you, sort of, the amount of stuff that happened in our past.
That's right. And so what you told me was absolutely fascinating. You know, I know we sort of spoke for a couple of hours, didn't we? And then your dad came in as well. And what we'll do, we'll try and cover all what you told me. Hopefully we'll. Now I think you've done one other show before. Now you're not sort of used to doing all these radio shows, are you?
Yes, apologies if I sort of jumping all over the show.
I think we can. I think you've got some sort of semblance of order there on the notebook and all that. So we hopefully. Let's try and go back to the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then you can go into wherever you like, and then we can go into your dad's background as well, because he was in the Air Force, wasn't he?
Yes, how long were you in the Air Force, Dad?
Nearly 30 years.
Yeah, that's quite a while, isn't it? And you saw some UFOs and things, which we can talk about. But I guess we'll talk. Let's start with Adam, and then we can bring you in a little bit later, Doug.
Yeah, so obviously Adam, actually 50 on Monday next week, so.
Oh, happy birthday. Well, that'll be, that's probably the day the show will go out, so it'll be your birthday that day, so happy birthday, Adam.
Yeah, thanks very much. So, in regards to sort of paranormal and all sort of odd things happening, it all sort of goes back to when I was a child. Well, like when I spoke to you a couple of months ago, it all started by having reoccurring dreams when I'd wake up in the morning. So I'd wake up probably about 6 or 7, and as soon as I woke up, I'd then have to sort of tilt my head left and right and do different movements with my head, and then close my eyes again. And then I'd be walking up a sort of grand staircase, and there'd be a massive stained glass window, and this black mass would just crash through the glass, grab me, pull me through it, and I'd wake up. And I had that reoccurring dream every morning for 6 months, and I never mentioned it to anyone, not even my dad, and I kept it totally quiet until I was in my 20s.
Yeah, it must have scared the life out of you, though, mustn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just the most bizarre, and, you know, it was so vivid. Just the thought of fact of walking up these stairs, I knew what was going to happen, I knew this thing was going to jump out. I couldn't actually see a figure, it's just like a black mass, and then it would grab me and just pull me through, and then I'd wake up again. You know, and I had that for a few months. And then sort of going on from that, when I was about 10, we were on holiday in Blakeney in Norfolk, and in the Blakeney Quay. I couldn't swim at the time and actually hit a sandbank, went into the water. Now, at the time I felt like I was just in the dark. I was actually drowning and I felt like I was just in a dark room. It was really odd. And I remember vividly this bright light coming up below my feet. Someone then jumped in and saved me, but as Mum came running down, there was no one there. So someone physically pulled me out the sea, but that person wasn't there. So, I mean,
how strange is that? Yeah.
That's weird in itself.
Well, obviously you didn't imagine that, did you? Because, I mean, somebody obviously pulled you out, you know, that's the amazing thing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being pulled out, but as I say, people talk about angels and that, but someone grabbed me and pulled me out of that sea, out of the quay.
And there was nobody else about that would have...
No. Well, no, there were people obviously came down, but people were asking who got me out of the sea, and, well, no one admitted it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've had that. As I say, I've had sort of recurring dreams, premonitions all throughout my whole life. I think Dad can probably tell you some more stuff on that as well.
I know, because your dad backed up some of those, didn't he? When you told some of the things you've foreseen, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's on your listeners, but with me, it seems to be, if I have a dream and then have the same dream the following night, it then comes true. So I dreamt 2 nights on the trot that my stepbrother had passed away. Well, I didn't actually know he'd passed away, but my dad was in the dream crying his eyes out, and I was saying to him in the dream, well, what's the matter, Dad? What's the matter? And he couldn't say. But the following 2 days after the dream, my stepbrother passed away. I've had dreams of plane crashes and actually drawing them out and hitting treetops, and then, as I say, I've said to you, Dad, in the past, I told you about it before, things happen, and then
most definitely.
these things happen.
Yeah. And we don't get that many plane crashes nowadays, do we, really?
No, so I mean, this is going back 10 years ago, isn't it, now?
Yeah, you told me about that. You said you'd seen that white aeroplane, and it was coming in to land at this airport, and it landed on the runway and just burst into flames. And 2 weeks later, one did the same. It was exactly the same as you described it, and it burst into flames on the runway in Canada.
Yeah.
And nobody was killed, but, I mean, the aircraft was written off and everything. And a big aircraft. Very weird.
As a matter of interest, you didn't see anything about 9/11 at all, did you, Adam? Do you remember anything, when all that sort of happened?
Twin Towers. I mean, I remember watching it live, but no, I didn't have any premonitions regarding that.
You don't remember it? No, that's right. It's just, as you were talking about it, I just sort of wondered if you did sort of foresee anything about that.
The problem is, a lot of the time as well, I do forget. I mean, I tell my other half, Jane, I do mention stuff to her, and, you know, I should really write it all down.
Yeah, you should have written it all down.
You know, so many things have happened. But sort of fast forwarding to 1999, that is when I first saw sort of the UFO thing with Jane.
Yeah.
I sent you the actual news article. I think you can see.
Yes.
I sent you that on Messenger earlier.
Yeah, what I'll do, I'll put those on the page so everyone can see what we're talking about. Yeah,
so sort of fast forwarding back to 1999, me and my other half come back to some friends' houses on the A46, which is the Leicester Western Bypass, near Wanlip. And there's some fields to the right, and we were driving back up towards the slip road to get onto the A6, and I noticed this object sort of hovering in the fields opposite. And I remember at the time saying to my other half, Jane, what on earth is that? Because it was sort of just like a circular object hovering, and everything seemed to have slowed down. At the time, everything went slow, and then this thing just shot off at tremendous speed, and then just went straight up and disappeared. Now, at the time, I said, Jane, I want to go to the local police station, was in Loughborough, and she said, no, they'll think you're an absolute idiot. Just don't bother. But it was so bizarre, David. Anyway, we didn't say anything. I remember telling my friends, the next day and everything, but we never went to the police.
Yeah.
The following week in the newspaper, there were reports of strange objects being seen. So I then rang the paper, said, look, I can confirm that what I saw. And the following week, they then put that article in the paper with me and Jane. Following that, they then did a article in the paper the following week and tried to totally discredit me and Jane, making out we were on drugs, we were drinking, which I've never taken drugs in my life, but they were saying that we're drunk, made it up just to try and totally discredit us. And again, I've sent you that on, you can put that on the...
Yeah, I will. I'll put that on the Paranormal Dimensions page as well, so you can all see. It's a shame when they do that, isn't it? I don't know why people have to think they've got to debunk everything all the time.
The beer company did an advert about it.
Well, yeah, so, you know, at the time I'd had a phone call from, I thought it was actually one of my friend's parents, sort of winding up, but I got a phone call saying, Mr. Greaves saw nothing, please don't report it again or further action would be taken. You know, but hear these stories, you think, oh, get out of it, this can't be true, but it actually happened to me. I never gave my phone number to the local paper. They wanted to take photos and I said no to it. I only rang them up to say, look, confirm what I'd seen. But they sort of totally blew it out, you know, to me, and made me to look at being an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
Fast forward 5 years, I think it was 5 years later, they then Greaves did an advert. I don't remember it, with the one with the blowing into the bottles doing the Close Encounters thing on TV. And again, the papers then resurfaced my article and put it on the front of the paper, again, which I've sent to you. But Greaves, and I again got ridiculed all over again, sort of 5 years later. So it was constantly trying to make me look stupid.
Yeah. I mean, anyone listening to this show now can actually hear you're not, you know, I don't think there's anything stupid about you at all. You know.
Yeah. But, I mean, I've been to quite a few of these conferences and I've seen people and, yeah, I mean, I know I'm not crazy, you know, there's definitely stuff out there which we can't explain. I don't know what, you know, who's in control of it, but I know what I saw, I know what my other half saw. And I went to one conference, there's a gentleman called Timothy Good, I don't know if your listeners know of him.
I think everyone has probably heard of Timothy Good. He's one of our top ufologists from the PAUK. Not so much nowadays, I don't think. We don't hear too much from him, do we? But he wrote several books.
That's great. So I actually met him with my dad, because following on from what we saw, that's when I started looking into ufology. And we went to one of the conferences down in south of Birmingham and met him. And I explained to him what I'd seen, and he sort of confirmed, you know, there's obviously weird stuff going on. And in his lecture, he did say that one time when he was in New York, he walked into a bar and said, look, if there are people out there of other origins, come in and prove it. And he said he was waiting there for half an hour, and this one just walked in and looked at him and sat next to him and then smiled, got and then walked out.
Yeah, I remember that in the book, actually.
Yeah, so I did the same thing. I've got all feels about it. I did the same thing in my back garden one night a couple of years ago, saying, look, you know, if there is such a thing out there, prove it, come and show it. Nothing happened that night, but the following night there was an unbelievable sort of cloud formation, almost like it was out of Close Encounters. And again, I've seen the photos, and this object came out, sort of split from four, and then disappeared.
Yeah, I've got the photos, so again, they'll put those on the page.
Yeah. So, and then a week to 2 weeks after that, I was seeing these objects flying around in the sky in daylight, but no one else could see them.
Yeah, I remember you saying to me, right, look, there's one up there now. Yeah. And I couldn't see him.
But if you take a photo with the camera, it appeared on the cameras, and I've got witnesses the whole, where I used to live on the cul-de-sac. Yeah. I was with all my neighbours, and they were saying, in there, but when I took a photo, you could see them. It's really high up in the atmosphere, like, flying around.
See, it's strange you say that. I had Philip Kinsella on the show last week, and he and his brother they've had a couple of UFO encounters. They've been, you know, in their neighbourhood sort of thing, where they could see it, but nobody else can. So I think there's some sort of I don't know how to describe it, but maybe some sort of a cloaking mechanism, so it's only visible to certain people. You know, you do hear that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it literally lasted 2 weeks where I go outside and you see these things whizzing around and you think, well, am I seeing things? But then I'd ask my neighbour, they're like, no, I don't want you to, how do we talking nonsense? But if you took a photo, they appeared on the photo. So I don't understand. I don't get it. But they're definitely there.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Now, your dad's got quite a history, because you were in the Air Force, weren't you, Doug, for 30 years, you said? And you saw quite a few UFOs in your day.
Yeah, not to do with the Air Force, though. It was when I was on holiday and things like that. I heard one or two stories from the radar people, which, I mean, I couldn't confirm. But, I saw one or two UFOs, but like Adam, I was on holiday down in Cornwall and I saw this one coming across the sky, and I thought it was satellite, but it was going too fast. And I watched it go over, then it turned right. And I explained to a few people that I'd seen this thing go over, and it's quite strange because I got a telephone call about a week later, and they said, "Oh, what was this thing you saw?" And I said, "Oh," and I explained it to him. He said, "Oh, yeah, you've seen a UFO." And I thought afterwards, well, how did they get my number?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, how can people do that? Find out what your telephone number is and phone you, and yet you haven't got a clue who they are.
Yeah, you just sort of come out of nowhere, and because it was the late 50s, wasn't it? You saw that?
That would have been in the 80s. The late 50s was when I saw that cylinder UFO.
Oh, the cylinder, right? Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting.
Yeah. That was in Derbyshire when I was cycling to work before I joined up. And it was like at 45 degrees in the sky, and they were trying to say it was a weather balloon up at 100,000 feet. But there was no way. It was a cylinder. It wasn't pear-shaped or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think the Zeppelins were around by then, were they?
No. And anyway, I saw reports years later where some senior Air Force officer said those sightings were not weather balloons. You know, it was reported that there was no weather balloons sent up days before or on that day. So how could it have been a weather balloon? So, yeah, it was weird. And then I heard stories from the radar people where they'd seen this huge thing over the channel, the size of a battleship. You know, and I thought, blimey.
We're not getting told the full story, are we?
No, there's things going on that we're not being told, most definitely.
Oh yeah, certainly. I agree with you.
Well, I don't know if they're interdimensional or not, David. I mean,
I mean that is a theory that I have. I mean, I wouldn't say they're all interdimensional, but I'm certain a certain faction of them are. You know. I mean, you've got no way of knowing at all, you know, where they're coming from, but, it does seem that there's a lot of interdimensional stuff going on, you know, in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, sort of going on, the reason why I called you, obviously so many sort of random sort of paranormal things have happened in my past and also my dad's, but the thing, like the reason why I called you was about sort of the demonologist part of it. Sort of, when was that done?
It always happened when we're together as well.
Yeah, when was it? How long ago would you say now?
4 years ago.
3, 4 years, yeah. So, I live in a place called Colville, and there's a pub there called the Monkey Walk, and I just happened to be with my dad and my eldest son Ryan, and we'd just gone, because we talk about UFOs and about paranormal things, because obviously weird stuff has happened. We just went down to the local pub for a drink. Now, my dad, myself and Mum sitting on this table, just chatting quietly, and then suddenly from the sort of back of the pub, this bloke just appeared. I mean, I don't know where he came to. He just appeared, looking very odd, wasn't he? Dad? All in black, very weird looking. And he just came up to us and said, "Do you mind if I sit down?" And we were like, "Yeah, you can do." He sat down, and the first thing he said was, I mean, you talk about it and you think you're absolutely nutter.
Yeah.
So he said, "I am a demon. Your family are very powerful. One day we will get to you." At what stage you said, "Dad, said some choice words. He said some choice words, but
I mean,
he then looked
the fact that he homed in on you as well, it seems rather weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now, but then there was such a heavy sort of atmosphere. You know, Ryan
was scared to death.
Ryan felt extremely sick. You could sort of say, oh yeah, he's just some sort of local nutter, but he looked at me and then started reciting all stuff about me, which I hadn't even told anyone. It's just stuff personally to me.
Yeah.
And he sort of mentioned everything about me, and it's just so odd.
He said I was too powerful as well.
Yeah. He then got up, started to walk out. There's a post between where we were and the exit. He went behind this post, and then we got to look at him, and it's gone, just vanished. Now there's no way he could have gone from the post to the exit. He just gone. Ryan was extremely shaken up, my son, and I went back home and was sort of discussing it with my other half and his girlfriend. The following day, he wanted to come back over to my house and wanted to see Granda because he was physically shaken by it, because it was just so odd. So we decided to drive to my dad's, and as we got up to this T-junction in the middle of nowhere, it was raining, the wiper blades were going, we saw the exact same bloke who we'd seen the night before standing on the country lane, so it's not as if he was like taking a walk to the street, on the grass verge, staring direct, as the wiper was wiping, standing on the side of the verge of the grass opposite us, staring straight at us, middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, how would you have known you'd have been taking that route?
Exactly. And since I've never seen I've never seen him. I've never seen this person again. I mean, Colville's not a big place, and I've never seen this person ever again.
Very strange.
And we've been to spiritist churches and all sorts, just to sort of make sense of it. And we've been told with sentinels or whatever that means.
You said that before, didn't you? No, I mean, why would somebody say that to you? And and how would they tell? I mean, because you're talking about you wanted to speak to a psychic about things, didn't you?
Yeah. So we've mentioned this, and I said I did a radio show in the States. I mentioned to you a few months ago, and one of the producers was on the phone to me afterwards. Said, "Look, weird stuff was happening when we were talking about it. It was almost like bringing negative energy through. So in a way, I was almost reluctant to talk about it with yourself because I was suggesting I mention it. I mean, we've seen umpteen psychics saying that, yes, we've obviously got a gift, and that, I don't know what he means by saying we're powerful, but that's why I'd like to sort of reach out to anyone is a psychic, and I'd love to meet up with them and see what they make of it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, if anyone listening out there, I mean, if you'd like to get in touch, and we can put you in touch with Adam, and maybe you can help him out. I don't know. It's. I
mean, I've been sort of multiple ones at these awakening conferences and vice versa, and we keep getting told the family's powerful, or we're Atlanteans, and I've been told that several times now. We're sort of past Atlanteans.
Yeah, I mean that's another new one, isn't it? Atlanteans. You usually get other things coming up, but not Atlanteans so much.
Yeah, I just like to sort of get to the bottom of it. I mean, especially as a child, having this black mass grabbing me and putting me. I've never stopped thinking about it.
I mean, going back to, sorry, I interrupted you. Going back to what you said about when you nearly drowned, and you got this black mass you're talking about, and also you're talking about Atlanteans and someone pulling you out of the water. It's kind of all going together, and it's kind of. Do you not see that?
You haven't even thought of that in that way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but the black mass you could look at. Maybe it was a deer. I just don't know. But the person who sat next to myself, my dad and my son, it was a physical being. It wasn't some sort of. I mean, it was a physical man.
Yeah, it was a physical being. Yeah.
But it just looked so bizarre. Like I said, you could say he was just had a few too many drinks, but it's the fact he knew everything about me.
Yeah.
And how he felt about the sort of the suppressive feel Ryan sensed, and he felt physically sick when he sat down, him then disappearing, then seeing him the following night.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see if anyone else has experienced anything like that. Anyone's ever come up to anyone and said that to them before,
Yeah. Well, it seems like, I mean, well, if it is some sort of a demon, if you accept that it could be a demon, I mean, and they just take a human form, and the fact that you've not seen him before or after.
No.
Yeah.
Saw him the following.
Yeah, that's what I mean, apart from that.
But as again, it wasn't as if he was walking, it was middle of nowhere at a T-junction. He was standing on the grass verge opposite. And as we sort of pulled
way
up,
out of town, wasn't it?
yeah, as we pulled up, he was just there standing, looking at me, as me and Ryan pulled up at the car.
Yeah, and knowing which route you were going to take as well.
Well, yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible how, you know, it really is. But again, all from our sort of paranormal things have happened all throughout my life, and I do believe my sons have got something as well. And I think my granddaughter may possibly have something as well. But yeah.
Well, have you got any examples of that?
Well, it's just sort of things they say, and sort of how alert they are, and I think there's a lot to do with. I think dreams are very, very important. I mean, I always remember my dreams. I have vivid dreams. I always seem to go somewhere where I've been before. You know, it's like almost like an alternative universe. I mean, I sometimes can't relate my dreams almost so real that it's like reality, if that makes any sense. You know, you sort of can't distinguish between reality and the dreams. They're almost like all in one.
Yeah. I don't know if you believe in astral travelling and things like that. I mean, I do. I think it's something that happens to all of us. I mean, some can remember it, some can't. But I think a lot of it is actually in your dreams anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I do know. I've heard of that, and I do think there is something in on that. Definitely. What I was going to mention as well. I have been regressed. I had that done a couple of years ago by a lady, and in that, I mean, that was very bizarre. Like I mentioned to you on the call previously. Also, I can't remember anything I said, but she recorded it all, and how it felt, how sort of going from the self. It was almost as if I was coming up. If you imagine a washing machine drum on its end and all the little perforations, they were almost like gateways to somewhere else, and I was sort of coming up. It was spinning around, sort of coming up, and then I remember seeing this person in this sort of overall, sort of almost like an ancient cloak, and I remember seeing all these different. I could draw these symbols out for it. There were like all these symbols on these over these doors, and I remember walking down this passage, coming up onto a balcony, and seeing like canals and thousands upon thousands of people, sort of like pinpoints, on these massive statues, almost like sort of Anunnaki, you know, the sort of Anunnaki type statues, all sort of extremely high. And I do think that's got something to do with something.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, do you actually go? I mean, I don't know if you actually have time or go on any ghost hunts or anything like that. Does that appeal to you?
I've never been on. Well, it definitely appeals to me. I've never have been on a ghost hunt or anything. No.
It's just that all I was thinking was you've got the chance of also meeting psychics and things like that on you know, those sort of things as well, and you know, and spending a bit of time with them. You know, getting to know them, and you know, you might get some support there.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything sort of in Leicestershire or Derbyshire happening, and you know, I'd love to do something like that. I mean, I have reached out to a couple of psychics, but I just keep getting told that you're too powerful. And I don't know how that means really. I mean, I don't know if it's like almost like a pop off. It just seems a really odd thing to say.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it means either.
Yeah, I just want answers to what's been happening to us, because you know, you could possibly say one or two things, but so many things have happened to myself and my family. I don't believe it's coincidence.
No, I'd agree with you. I know when you told me all this in the first place, I thought, well, I think we ought to do a show about it, and then then somebody else had the same idea, didn't they?
Yeah, but I just hope from this, David, I don't know if anyone's listening, if they could get in contact with you and get in contact with myself.
Yeah, sure.
Just
I mean, I can certainly put anyone in contact with you if they want to contact me via the show.
See what you think of that.
Yeah. I mean, has your dad got some more stories that he could tell us about his time in the Air Force?
Well, not a lot used to go on UFO wise or anything like that while I was in the Air Force. But there were that occasion down at your father-in-law's when we had those photos taken. Me and you had a photo taken and it was covered in orbs.
Yeah, David mentioned that about orbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the others had a photo taken in the same place. There was nothing on it. We went back and let somebody else take a photo, and we were covered in orbs again. Yeah.
Yeah. No, off air we were talking about orbs a little bit, weren't we? And I said before, as people know, I live near Rendlesham, and I've been out in the middle of the woods taking pictures at night, and most of them come out black. You know, and you may take a sequence of maybe 7 or 8 pictures, all facing the same way. And then suddenly you'll get, in the middle, you'll get 1 or 2 pictures that's got all orbs in it. And then it'll just go back to just completely black again. You know, when you look back on your pictures. And,
I mean, people say they're like dust particles, but like you say, we've had photos taken with us, either orb, and then someone else had the same photo and there's nothing on it, it's totally blank.
I mean, the way as I said before, the way I see it, I think if it was dust particles, it'd be on every picture. Or, you know, I can't see that it would be, on certain ones, you know.
Yeah, but we proved it, didn't we? We had another photo taken and it was covered in orbs again.
Yeah. I mean, what they were saying about UFOs and that, you have seen, you know, obviously you can't, you're probably not saying because of you.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen loads of lights in the sky and making weird patterns and all that sort of thing, but you know, there is one.
You were based at Strike Command.
Yeah, there was one after I came out of the Air Force. I used to run my own business, and in fact, I was round the barrack quarters at Strike Command, and it was the time that the comet was visible in the 90s.
Right.
And I used to take my binoculars and show people the comet. And there's one particular time.
This is Halley's Comet we're talking about, is it?
No, it was, I can't remember the name of it now.
Oh, right.
But it was a comet that was visible in the 90s. And I was talking to this RAF policeman, funnily enough, and I'd shown him I'd let him look through binoculars, and I looked up and I said, I don't remember seeing a planet in that position. And there's this really bright, like the size of Venus, in the sky right above us. And we were talking for quite a while about this thing. Then all of a sudden, it went to about 4 times its size and it just disappeared.
All right.
Really weird. Yeah.
I mean, I think in light of this in the last couple of weeks where the American government have mentioned about that tic-tac UFO, they're now saying they don't know what it was. I don't know if that's sort of a soft disclosure where they actually are going to start saying stuff.
Well, I wish they would.
Because so many people are seeing these things, you know.
Right. The comet that you were talking about, would it be in comet High, oh blimey, I can't read it, Katuke in 1995? Or there was Hal-Bopp comet?
Oh yeah, Michael. Yeah, or Hal-Bopp, I think it was.
Hal-Bopp, yep, that was in the 90s. That was 95, Hal-Bopp. I think that was.
Yeah, that was the one.
And did the policeman guy see it as well? Did he see it?
Yeah, we were both looking at it, and he saw it as well. He said, "What the?"
Yeah, the other one is spelled Hyakutake. It sounds a bit Japanese.
Japanese, yeah. No, it was a Hal-Bopp one.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That was really weird. But, I mean, I've always thought that, you know, the human race, we're not, I don't think we're from this planet. that's my own personal point of view. I think, or if we are from this planet, we've been modified.
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few theories that we've come here from, many thousands of years ago, maybe even longer.
I wrote a poem which we showed somebody.
You need to get that. If you could take that poem out, Dad, and I can send it to David and put it on your site, because you showed that a few people and they were like, well, that's...
We showed, when we saw Timothy Good, we showed it that bloke that had written a book. It'd taken him 10 years to write this book, and my poem was exactly what his book was.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Have you got access to that?
And I just sat down and wrote it all in one go.
Huh, that's interesting.
That's Cambridge, isn't it? That?
Yeah, he said I should have sent it to Giorgio Tsoukalis.
Oh, yeah, I met him. Yeah, Giorgio. The man with the hair.
I should have sent it to him, he said. So he could put it in in his magazine that he did.
Yeah, is it...
I never bothered.
Ancient Times, or is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Legendary Press or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, there's definitely, stuff going on.
Yeah, you have to send me to that, and I'll put that on the page. But,
well, unfortunately, it's on one of my PageMaker discs, which is on Mac, not Microsoft. It's on
a Mac, is it?
Yeah. Well, so as long as you don't mind me putting it up, it's, I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So the unfortunate thing is this year, because of this this COVID-19 thing, none of us will be able to go to any conferences, will we? So I won't be seeing you in Manchester. Like I saw you. I think we had a brief hello, didn't we, in Manchester last year?
Yeah, I think what we're going to have to do is, so hopefully they'll open them up next year, sort of early next year, and everyone can get back in that, because unless they do it, I think it's called off this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we're all on
Christmas called off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing was, I wasn't actually sure if I was going to the Manchester one this year anyway. Then I was thinking about it. I thought I might go, and then all this happened, and I thought, well, let's finish that off then. So.
Yeah. I just hope they do open it all up again soon, rather than later. For the economists.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. But, something more is going on than what's this is all about anyway. But
there's so many people now believing in UFOs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not as far-fetched now as it used to be, is it?
No.
No,
there's so many people believe it now.
You still get ridiculed, though. I mean, you still get people thinking, you're wearing a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't care, David.
Yeah, we've all been there for that.
I've just got to get it out, what we're saying. I mean, people can think what they like. I mean, I know what we experienced, I know what happened. And
well, yeah, we know what we've experienced. You can't alter what you've seen.
Yeah. And
no matter what.
And you don't know what you're going to be seeing in the future. I mean, we've all got to be keeping our eyes open, and and obviously you could be seeing things at any time, can't you? The thing is, it happens when you don't expect it.
That's right.
That's it.
I think the thing is, if you do go out searching every night, you probably won't see anything. It's usually when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
But, I know, I was telling you, I don't know if I've mentioned it on this show before. My wife and I were sitting outside, just sort of laying on our sunbeds, and my wife spotted these little tiny white dots right up in the sky, and there was about 6 or 8 of them. And then she said, what are those? And I looked up, and I couldn't see them at first, and then I noticed them. I thought, well, yeah, what the hell are they? And they seemed to be flying across the sky in formation. Yeah, they weren't aeroplanes, but they were way up, like little tiny pinpricks.
Well, that's like I saw, like I said earlier, going back all those years ago, sort of a couple of weeks after I saw that object, I could see these things really high up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But other people couldn't. It was just bizarre, how can one person can see them, but other people couldn't? And it is almost like a sort of a cloaking mechanism. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
is it a cloaking mechanism or something?
But they
you believe in it, so I'll show you.
But they did show on the camera when you took a photo.
Yeah.
It did appear on the photo.
Yeah, you do
But
hear
they
that
let
quite a
you
lot,
see
actually.
and nobody else can.
So
Because you believed in them, so they're letting you see them. Yeah, other people.
I think it's different. I don't know if you've got different frequencies or different high.
Yeah, well, there's something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Some sort of
this is why I think a lot of it's like when the dimensional thing comes into it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like different vibration planes, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, when you were growing up, were you interested in science fiction or anything, or?
Not really. It's only, I mean, as a child with that sort of reoccurring thing when I'd wake up in the morning and have to close my eyes again, I don't understand why I never said anything to anyone. You know, for my sons have that now, I'd want them to tell me, but I kept it quiet. I didn't say anything to anyone until I was in my 20s. I mean, the drowning incident when I was 10 or 11 in Blakeney, again, I told my mum, but it was just, whatever. Just sort of dismissed, you never talked about it. It's only when I got into my sort of later teens and my early 20s that you start, hang on a minute.
Yeah. So would you think did you think that was probably one of your earliest experiences like that you actually know and it sort of stuck with you?
Yeah, well, most definitely. I mean, the one that stuck with me is that walking up the staircase and the black mass. I mean, I've searched the internet for years trying to see if anyone else has had that sort of same experience where they've woken up and then they've had to sort of move their head left, right, whatever they're doing, then close their eyes, and then it's almost like they're going into a trance.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea.
I mean, we do hear stories about, we do hear stories about shadow beings and things like that. Could it have been anything like that? And again, we're talking about interdimensional things, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm reaching out on your radio show to sort of, to hopefully get answers, to see if anyone can sort of answer what on earth that was. Quite so many years, but
the thing that got me is his dreams, his premonitions.
Yeah.
That weird. It really is weird.
Yeah, well, especially as he told you about them, and then they've sort of happened.
Oh, yeah. We've had so many of them, David. It really is weird.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are so insignificant, but it's just...
Yeah, well, you think they are, but then when it comes true, you think, hang on a minute.
Yeah, they're just little things, were they?
Yeah, but I think everyone has the ability, Dave. I don't think anyone's particularly, but I think everyone has the ability to do it.
Yeah, I think some are more aware. I mean, I know it's in all of us, but I don't consider myself psychic at all or anything like that. But you do get these premonitions, don't you? And you can read sort of atmospheres when you go into a room and stuff like that. But I
mean, there's things. I mean, I'm not religious. I don't want to offend anyone. I'm not particularly religious, but in my sort of early, I'm not.
Well, I'm not either. I mean, I don't try to offend. I wouldn't offend anybody for it. I
don't want to offend. No.
We've all got our own different beliefs. I mean, I was brought up in the Church of England faith, and I was actually confirmed member of the church, actually, up until I was about 15. Then I started thinking to myself, and...
Exactly, you start thinking for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I had this, going back to sort of dreams. There's one dream I particularly remember, which I told my gran, who was part of the Spiritist Church back in the time, and I actually got one of the, I don't know if it was the president or someone high up, actually ring me at home saying, would I go to the NEC and do a talk? This is going back when I was in my early 20s, and I said no, because obviously I was quite shy, and I thought I can't go and do that. But that was down to a dream. I explained it to you now. So I'm not particularly religious, but I had this dream where I sort of woke up, and it's so real. I was like walking through the desert, and I remember at the time in the dreams, I could feel the sand. I was sort of tapping my leg thinking, where am I? In the distance there's like a sort of Bedouin tent, and as I sort of walked closer up to it, this chap came out and was speaking all in a foreign language, couldn't understand a word he was saying. And I said, look, I'm lost here. I didn't feel like I was dreaming. I mean, I knew I was somewhere, almost like I was somewhere else. And he sort of pointed to these sand dunes, and I remember sort of walking, and it felt like I was walking for days, and came over these tops of the sand dunes, this like ancient city. I remember walking in there, and there were I don't know, a few thousand people in this square, and they're all looking at me. And I remember at the time thinking, I started panicking, and then a person turned around. Now, if you imagine Jesus, but a lot darker than you the normal, a lot sort of darker version of Jesus, put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Adam, everything will be okay."
Yeah.
The next thing, he got kicked to the ground. I got kicked to the ground. I can remember getting dragged through this like temple and all these torches burning. And then I woke up, but I was obviously still in a dream, and I was at the bottom of the cross, and he was looking down at me, and then I woke up.
Wow.
Now, I don't know what to make of that, but I remember telling that to my grandma, and due to that, the sort of Spiritualist Church comment wanted me to go and mention this thing, but I never did.
No. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if there was a Jesus, there's no absolute proof there was, but he would have been of a darker complexion anyway.
Yeah, he was a lot darker than you would imagine. But I mean, I don't even know. I'm just saying. I think it may have not been, but it was so real. And this person was on a cross looking down at me outside this city. And again, if I could get a pen, if I could draw it all out. It's almost as it's like a recording. I know I could draw everything about it.
Yeah. I mean, it is quite likely there was a character back then, and you know, but it's difficult to actually. I mean, he sort of. There's a bit you get Jesus was born in the stable, and then you've got many years of nothing, and then he reappears again. And was it the same person?
Yeah, I mean. Again, with that, I just what I do now. I do actually write some stuff down when I sort of vividly. I do write it all down, and I just want answers, David, if I possibly can. I don't think people might listen to this and think, but I just hope there's someone out there who is maybe experiencing the same thing what we're experiencing.
Yeah. As I say, I wish I could help you in that way, but unfortunately I can't. But I'm glad that you sort of came to me to sort of tell me about them, because they've been sort of really fascinating. Obviously, I think there are people that hopefully will listen to this, and hopefully they'll contact me, and I can put them in contact with you. Yeah,
I mean, I just think things happen I don't think there's anything such thing as coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason, and time is. This is possibly the right time. I mean. I should have done it a lot earlier, but maybe if that wasn't the right time, this is now the right time to sort of say it all. Yeah,
there is a synchronicity. I'm sure. I mean, things have seemed to have happened in my life that have been synchronicity, and things do seem to be sort of tying together with a lot of little things that are coming together. I can't really explain it to you because it's. I
know it is weird. It is weird, but I definitely think this is the right time now. I just think it's the right time.
Yeah, it's just little things in my own life that have sort of that just seem to be coming together. It's nothing of anyone's concern outside, but just little things that I can see that have happened in my own life. But it's weird. So what's your future plan? I mean, apart from, why don't you write a book or something about it, or try to put something together and actually?
Well, I keep, because it'll come. I think it'd be gobbledygook if I wrote all. I need someone to write it for me.
No, it wouldn't. Not if you if you plan it properly and put it right from your earliest memory and that reality, I think it would make quite a fascinating book.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned to you earlier. I'm 50 next week. I've never been out of work, but I got told a month ago that my position at work's actually been moved offshore. So actually, I'm getting made redundant at the end of June, and maybe that's a reason for doing something. I don't know. So from this sort of 1st of July, I'll be sort of free to go and do whatever I've got to go and do.
Yeah. Well, you'll be looking for another job, obviously, at the time.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sort of redundancy is okay, but maybe I've got to go and follow what I should be following. I don't know.
Yeah. You get a paranormal writer to do, or ghost writer.
Yeah, ghost writer.
Maybe I just thought. I think everything happens for a reason. I think everything does happen for a reason.
Yeah. You've done all right.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to hear about it. I mean, especially with the way things are at the moment. I mean, a lot of people are going to be in trouble with their jobs and things as well, with all these businesses all packing up and everything because of this virus thing.
I mean, my actual role wasn't actually nothing to do with this COVID virus, but like I say, I think millions of people are going to be out of work. I just hope the people are going to be a lot more generous now and just kinder people from all this.
Yeah.
I hope they're going to come out a better place and be more generous in helping people.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's going to cause a lot more problems down that we're not even thought of yet. I mean, there's going to be a lot of businesses that can't afford to start back up again because they've lost too much money. You know, I just don't know where it's all going to lead, really. But
I mean, it's never happened before. It's unprecedented, isn't it? It's just.
You're right there, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not got COVID.
Yeah, I've got a chest infection.
Oh, right. I think we've all had. Basically, I'll tell you what, these chest infections, it certainly makes me wonder because I know quite a few people who've had chest infections, me included, and my wife. We've all had these chest infections, but whether it's actually related to this COVID virus thing, I don't know.
As yours now, 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
And we are so, by the way, we are a couple of metres apart. We're not actually sitting right next to each other.
I'm not a policeman, so it don't really matter.
They're not next to each other. But, yeah.
So, yeah, it makes you wonder where it's all going to lead to. Yeah, anyway, it's been great having you on, Adam, and you'll have to keep me in touch with anything else that's going on. If anything else happens, get straight back in touch with me, and perhaps certainly if anything happens within the next week or so before this show goes out, and we can put it on the page.
Yeah, definitely, we'll do. 100% I will. So, and I just appreciate the time for you sort of doing this for me, and I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on the show, to actually, you've chosen this show to come on anyway. And, hopefully you might even get a few more invites onto shows as well.
I just want, if anyone's got any sort of answers to what is going on and, it's the sort of the demon thing, it's just bizarre. That's what, it's just bizarre.
I mean, do you actually believe in demons and things yourself, or do you actually, is that something that, you've just been told? In your own mind, is that what you believe it is?
As a child, I would never have said that thing was a demon, that black mass was a demon, but following what happened in that pub that night, and seeing it the following day, it's just so bizarre, and so I'd have to say yes, I do believe in them, because this thing was a physical thing. It knew everything about us, and it just appeared from nowhere, and then disappeared, and then appeared the following day. So I've got to say yes. I don't know where or where it came from,
but the thing was, it said it was going to get you, but nothing physical.
He basically said, he sat down. He said, "You must sit down, lads." We're like, yeah. And he said, "I am a demon. We know who you are. We know your family is very powerful, and one day we will get to you."
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that nothing has happened to you, has it?
No.
You haven't been, nothing harmful has come about.
No, but we do cover, I do the shack, cover it online, just do that because we just do, but.
It was just like a psychological threat, wasn't it? It was just a fear factor.
Yeah, that's how my dad said some choice words, and to be fair, though, nothing's gonna, I won't back down to anything, to be honest with you, and I won't let anything.
And that's the way it's got to be, and that's probably why nothing's happened to you. It's the fear, that they like to thrive on, I believe.
I won't be intimidated by it.
No.
I just find it odd.
Yeah, that's right.
Just odd. So, but it'd be interesting to see if anyone has had anything like that happen to them, where physically someone's gone up to them and said stuff.
Yeah. Well, like I said about this fear thing, I mean, apparently, if you believe in the reptilians and things like that, I've never seen one, but I've heard people have seen one. They thrive on the fear factor, and maybe that's what that's all about,
Yeah.
Because they are interdimensional beings.
Yeah, it did scare my son at the time. Was 25, 26, and he was shaken up by it. But we also we are a strong unit, and I won't let anything get to us. To be honest with you.
Sure. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way to
I really, and I say I will keep in touch with you. If anything does happen, I will obviously get in touch with you, David, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah, please do.
Hopefully after all this lockdown's finished, we could meet up one day at a conference or something, and,
yeah. Well, like you say, I mean, you know where I am, so if you want to come over this way sometime, near Rendlesham, and,
yeah, no, definitely.
Well, I don't think the woods are not quite the way they were back in 1980, but there's still quite a lot of it there, and they're still pretty weird.
Yeah, I'd like to go just to sort of say I've been there. To be honest with you.
Yeah, when you think that all happened while I was in the Air Force.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 1980 it would have been, wouldn't it? That's
yeah, because I came out in 90.
I mean, there's a recent book that's come out by Nick Redfern. He says it was all a military exercise, but in fact, I'm having Nick on the show in about November. That's the earliest.
Oh,
that was it. That was the earliest slot I've got, to be honest. I've actually spoken to Colonel Holt about that. About Nick's book and everything, and he says he knows things that it wasn't that, so
yeah.
So it should be interesting.
I wouldn't have said it would be a military exercise. They would have been informed, surely.
Yeah.
But the military exercise, they would have been.
Yeah.
Surely he would have been told about it.
Yeah. I mean, there was the silly story about an SAS prank and all that. I mean, when I was speaking to Chuck about it, I mean, there'd have been a lot of deaths about, if it would have been anything silly like that,
Yeah. No, it's I believe that happened.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? So maybe it was something, because they're talking about lasers and all sorts of stuff, aren't they? But I really don't think it was. I think it was something weird. I don't think it was a military exercise myself. But there again, how do I know? I wasn't there. I mean, but Chuck doesn't. Colonel Holt doesn't seem to think it was that, and neither does Jim Penniston. But there you go. I suppose it's each to their own and what you want to believe, really. And but the way I see it, you've always got to follow whatever the evidence is, and see where that takes you.
Yeah. No,
and then the rest of it, I suppose, is just down to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess, unless you've got anything else you want to tell us before we wind it up?
I think that's it. No, I think that's it, Dave. I mean, I've got out what I've got to say, and let's just hope someone's listening and hopefully get. Yeah,
well, once again, anyone out there, please get in touch. If you think you can help Adam out with anything, or if you want to know any more, perhaps we can put you in touch and we can try and sort things out. But apart from that, I think we're all just as puzzled about what's happened to you as what you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all very interesting stuff, Adam. And Doug, thanks for coming on as well. It's interesting. Been great hearing about.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I'm sorry I didn't have more for you.
No, it's interesting. I mean, the fact that you've actually seen some UFOs in your 30 years during the Air Force, and you heard things also about it with the radar. That's another addition, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyway, right.
We won't go into that.
No, but the thing is, you can't get into trouble now, surely.
Oh, I can. I signed the Official Secrets Act.
Yeah, but does that really cover? I mean, I signed the Official Secrets Act as well, but I don't know if it sort of covers about seeing UFOs and things. But I don't know.
Well, perhaps not.
I think you'll be safe. Anyway.
You'll survive.
Anyway, thanks Adam and Doug. It's been great speaking to you, and thanks for listening out there. You've been listening to the Paranormal Dimensions show on the Paranormal UK Radio Network. I'm going to say goodbye to Adam Greaves and his dad, Doug. Now, thanks again for coming on, for the both of you.
Brilliant.
And
thank you so much, David.
Yeah, thanks, David.
You take care of yourself, and hopefully we'll all be back to normal again soon.
Yeah, and we'll catch up.
All right. Yeah, cheers. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Paranormal Dimensions is as bright and powerful as our celestial star, the sun. And although it's expending thousands of pounds of energy every minute of the day, have no fear. There's plenty left.
Paranormal Dimensions is a regular feature on Mondays on the Paranormal UK radio network.